Hey friends, filming user-generated content at home actually doesn't need to feel like rocket science. If you're new here, welcome to the community. And if you're back again, hey, it's great to see you. I have been making user-generated content for various brands for quite some time now. Today, I want to walk you through my incredibly simple and no-fuss setup. We'll cover the practical tools I always reach for in my creator toolkit. And most importantly, how I transform long raw footage into snackable clips that actually perform well on social media. Spoiler alert, you absolutely do not need expensive professional gear to start making great content. It's mostly about mastering three key things: lighting, storytelling, and how you frame your shots. So if you want to seriously level up your creator output without breaking the bank, you need to keep watching this whole guide. First things first, let's talk about the camera you use for filming. I film 95% of my content using just my everyday phone. And honestly, most modern smartphones are more than powerful enough for the job. You don't need the very latest model. You just need a device that consistently takes clean, sharp video footage. What matters significantly more than the specific camera body is how you decide to utilize it. Are you opting for flexible handheld recording, or are you making use of a stable tripod setup? Handheld is great for flexibility because you can just pick up and record wherever you are. But tripods, even basic ones, keep everything steady, which instantly looks more professional to the viewer. You really don't need to invest in some kind of expensive, complicated $400 rig for quality. A solid, reliable, and affordable tripod you find on Amazon or any major marketplace will more than suffice. I personally have only upgraded my support gear over the years when I genuinely felt limited, not just because a newer model existed. Now let's talk about lighting, which I truly consider your secret weapon as a content creator. Natural light, hands down, is the absolute king of beautiful video quality. If you can position yourself directly in front of a large, bright window during filming, you should absolutely do that. This type of light usually looks much softer, far more flattering on skin tones, and avoids that weird glare from an artificial ring light. However, be prepared because sometimes you'll need to film late at night or on a very overcast, dark day. That is when a simple ring light or a small clip-on selfie light becomes completely clutch for your shoot. Keep your lighting setup incredibly simple. The main light source needs to face you or the product head-on. You must actively avoid shooting with light coming from behind you or sharply from the side that creates harsh, ugly shadows unless that's your specific artistic choice. The best advice here is to simply follow the natural light around your home as you move through your day. If your kitchen is incredibly bright in the mornings, make that your primary filming station. And if your living room gets those perfect, warm, golden hour vibes, that space is clearly your spot for creating magic. Next up is audio, and I need you to promise me you will not sleep on this critical element. Viewers will often forgive slightly average video quality, but they will almost never forgive bad, distracting audio. For a simple setup, you can absolutely use your phone's internal microphone, provided you are recording in a very quiet room. However, if you have wind outside, city traffic, noisy roommates, or even a crying baby, you need to add a small lavalier or a mini shotgun microphone. These external mics are generally inexpensive, yet they massively improve the overall clarity and presence of your voice. Here is a pro tip for cleaner phone audio, even without an external mic. Use your editing software's voice enhancement features. Tools within apps like CapCut have a neat combination of both automatic voice enhancement and noise reduction that will seriously make your audio pop. We will definitely circle back to look at more of those powerful editing apps in just a few minutes. Now for a tiny but absolutely major recurring tip that everyone seems to forget. You must wipe your camera lens before every single recording session. Our phones live in our pockets, on dusty counters, and in bags, so that lens inevitably gets smudged and greasy. If your resulting footage looks even slightly foggy or dull, give that glass a good wipe down before you hit record. If you wear prescription glasses, those little microfiber cloths are absolutely perfect for keeping your primary camera lens clean. Honestly, make this the very first step in your standard filming checklist for every single shoot you do. Let's move on to framing and angles, where you need to remember the power of vertical orientation. The vast majority of UGC is consumed right now on platforms like Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. So you must shoot vertically in a 9:16 aspect ratio. Also, you need to start thinking in terms of distinct shots, not just one single continuous, unbroken angle. Mix it up constantly by including a tight close-up on the product itself. Follow that with a mid-shot of you speaking directly to the camera and explaining something important. Then cut to a wide shot that helps establish the overall context or environment of the scene. Those quick, frequent cuts between different angles are essential for keeping the viewer's attention locked in. Viewers on these platforms have notoriously short attention spans, so fast cuts and varied shot distances are everything. Show genuine reactions to what you are demonstrating. Don't just hold up an item with a blank expression. If a product or experience makes you feel relaxed, you need to show yourself laughing, smiling, or looking pleasantly surprised. Because in UGC, real, visible authenticity is what ultimately sells the message and the item. Now remember that B-roll footage is one of your very best friends in the editing process? B-roll consists of those extra supporting clips that perfectly set the scene and visually show how a product fits into real, everyday life. If you are featuring a new water bottle, for example, don't just film yourself sipping from it one time. Show it being easily placed into a gym bag or being filled up at the kitchen sink for extra life context. These contextual shots are crucial because they help viewers immediately imagine owning and using that product themselves. Plus, having variety in your B-roll gives you so many more creative editing options later on for a snappy clip. Alright, let's dive into the actual editing apps that are actually useful for this work. For beginners just starting out, CapCut, InShot, and VN Editor are all fantastic, free-friendly options that yield surprisingly professional results. If you are someone who prefers total creative control and advanced color grading capabilities, then Premiere Rush or Final Cut Pro are great paths to explore. Just be aware that those advanced tools usually come with a steeper learning curve and often require a monthly subscription payment. Here is the simple, non-negotiable editing workflow I use every single time I assemble a piece of content. First, you need to ruthlessly trim out all the ums, the long, unnecessary pauses, and any filler words that slow down the momentum. Your goal here is to keep the pace of the narration as tight as humanly possible for maximum impact. Next, you must normalize and clean up your audio using those features we just discussed. If you're using CapCut, running the enhanced voice and noise reduction filters together is an extremely fast fix that truly makes a huge difference. After the audio is perfect, move on to the visuals and quickly tweak settings like brightness, contrast, and saturation. This step gives the entire final clip that polished, high production value look we are aiming for. Crucially, you need to add on-screen captions or overlay text to every single clip. This is non-negotiable because a huge percentage of users will consume your content with the sound completely muted. Finally, integrate your supporting B-roll clips and add smooth transitions to create a natural, easy flow throughout the piece. Always remember that pacing is your secret ingredient. It dictates how long someone stays watching. A very smooth, well-paced 20 to 40 second clip will outperform a stretched out, boring 2-minute video 9 times out of 10 in terms of engagement. Now things get really interesting here for creators who focus on producing longer-form educational or tutorial content. You no longer have to manually scrub through hours of raw footage trying to hunt down every single viral moment. That is precisely the problem that dedicated AI tools like Vizard are specifically built to solve for you. Instead of spending your precious time looking for that one golden reaction shot, the AI automatically finds the best highlights for you. It automatically trims those highlights into perfectly post-ready, short clips ready for immediate publishing. Furthermore, these tools often get captions and even suggested thumbnail designs ready to go at the same time, saving you massive amounts of workflow time. This breakthrough lets you focus entirely on recording that long session, your demos, your interviews, or your reviews, and let the AI handle the heavy lifting. The AI then spits out all the short, punchy clips optimized for maximum performance on every social platform. Other tools exist that can accomplish parts of this workflow, like Descript for transcription or Clipchamp for editing control. But each of those individual applications typically comes with its own set of limiting constraints for the creator. For instance, Descript's transcription is excellent, but it still requires you to manually select and polish most of the clips yourself. Premiere Pro offers total creative command, but you are guaranteed to spend hours learning the software and manually editing every single piece. A huge point of friction is that many single-function platforms also completely lack good, integrated scheduling features. This means, after you finally finish creating the clips, you still have to manually manage the posting times across all your different platforms. The platform we mentioned solves several of those common pain points for the busy creator. Beyond the automatic clip extraction and editing, it includes an auto-schedule function so the AI handles posting times. It also features an integrated content calendar that organizes all your queued clips and posting plans into one single view. This means you are not constantly bouncing between 3 or 4 different apps just to plan out an entire week of social content. For creators who are juggling client deadlines, a full-time day job, or just dozens of ideas, that level of automation is an absolute game changer. It's important to note that no single tool is a perfect fit for every single niche or creator type out there. But for the majority of people trying to get consistent short-form content out of long recording sessions, this saves many hours. When you're comparing different tools, make sure you consider the entire end-to-end workflow, not just one feature. Think about the full process: capture, finding highlights, editing, adding captions, scheduling, and finally posting. Some applications are great at the editing part, but offer zero scheduling ability, forcing you to use another app later. The right AI solution simplifies that often tedious middle chunk by automatically extracting, prepping, and then allowing you to schedule everything directly. In real practical terms, if you are a solo creator aiming for consistent posting, this level of integration saves both valuable time and significant mental energy. Let's quickly get back to some technical basics regarding your final export settings and file delivery methods. You honestly do not need to film everything in high-resolution 4K unless you have unlimited storage or a specific professional workflow demanding it. Exporting your final clips at a standard 1080p resolution at either 30 or 60 frames per second is perfectly adequate for all social platforms. This is because those platforms will compress your uploads anyway, so keeping your local files manageable is just smarter. When the time comes that you need to hand off the absolute full quality master files to a brand or a client, Use dedicated transfer services. Using services like Google Drive, Dropbox, or WeTransfer is essential because simply emailing massive video files will often compress them or fail entirely. Finally, let's talk about those last few touches. Always aim to keep your final clips very short and incredibly purposeful. User-generated content typically achieves its highest engagement rates when it lives between 15 and 45 seconds long. That sweet spot forces you to be extremely clear about the single most important point of that specific clip and deliver it lightning fast. Craft a simple, easy-to-follow narrative arc for every single video you publish. Start strong with an attention-grabbing hook in the first 1 to 2 seconds to stop the scroll. Follow that hook immediately with the main product demonstration or the core value proposition you are showing. Conclude that section with a genuine personal reaction or a clear articulation of the ultimate user benefit. And finish with a quick casual call to action that encourages the next step without sounding too pushy or salesy. A good CTA is often as simple as directing viewers to check the link in bio or suggesting they try this out for yourself. Here are a few final wrap-up tips to keep your content engine running smoothly month after month. Always test different video angles and experiment with alternative opening hooks to see what resonates best. It's also smart to export a few slight variations of your content. Maybe one with a different opener or slightly altered captions. Track the performance metrics diligently because what works perfectly for one audience might completely flop for another. And if maintaining that consistent pipeline of short clips feels overwhelming, remember the power of batch recording. Record one long comprehensive session, then let an AI tool like the one we mentioned auto-generate dozens of shorts from it. Then, utilize that content calendar feature to smartly space out all those new clips so you post consistently without burning out. So, to quickly recap everything we covered today, you really do not need a massive Hollywood-style production setup. A mid-range modern phone, a stable and affordable tripod, leveraging natural light when available, and basic audio gear, if the room is noisy, will get you incredibly far. Use authentic reactions and well-placed B-roll to sell the story and make the connection with your audience. Keep all your clips paced tightly, export them at sensible, social media-friendly settings, and never forget to wipe that lens. And if you truly want to stop spending hours manually combing through hours of raw footage, seriously consider an AI editor to extract the best parts and even schedule them automatically. It might not be pure magic, but it is absolutely a practical shortcut that makes content creation genuinely sustainable for the long haul. Alright, that covers my entire no-drama guide to filming and efficiently turning those long videos into scroll-stopping short clips. Go give some of these simple tips a try for your next project right away. If you have any lingering questions about specific tools or workflow adjustments, please drop a comment down below. I genuinely make an effort to read and answer every single question that comes through. Thanks so much for watching, and I will definitely catch you all in the next video.